What is going on YouTube? Now I know some of you guys have been patiently waiting for my first full scheme of NCAA 14. I gotta tell you, I wasn't really digging the game at first this year. It took me a while to get into it, but the last couple days I've really been playing it a lot, enjoying it a lot more. And the first scheme that we have is focusing on the run game. And it is an absolute monster, I gotta tell you. The formation is shotgun twin tight end slot weak, and the plays we're going to look at are buck sweep, buck read option, halfback counter U, tight end lead read option, inside zone split, read option, 4 verticals, and posts. Now we add in the halfback slip screen, we add in the QB wrap, even though it's a little crippled this year. Not sure if you noticed, but the acceleration of the quarterback has really been toned down. And quick slant. The only reason I have this is because I like the tight end dig, and I'm pretty much going to make my hot routes to all the other routes. And speed option is actually a really nice play that we can mix in because our other runs are so effective. Speed option is definitely a great play that we can add in, and you'll see that in the gameplay footage. Now, when it comes to audibles, we're going to set all 5, and then we're going to come out in a base play. The base play I like to come out in is posts, and the reason I like to do that is because then I can quick snap a pass. So let's say I come out in post, I can put my running back on a route, I can change X to either a curl or a smoke screen or a streak or whatever it is I want to do and snap the ball immediately. If I come out in another play and then audible to posts, then it's not going to let me do my hot routes right away. So this is kind of important. I want to be able to have that opportunity to quick snap a pass if I see an opportunity to be able to take advantage of a defense, okay? If we audible to it, our guys are going to be kind of standing around. You try to hot route your running back or wide receiver, and it won't let you, and then you can't quick snap. And not only that, you're kind of motioning your hands as the quarterback, and it's giving away the fact that we're passing when this is such a high run-orientated scheme. So we don't want to tip our hand to that. Now, buck read option is an absolute deadly play to go with our main play, which is buck sweep. Now, read option is a really nice play. It kind of depends on your style, on what you want for your audibles. But for my audibles, it's definitely buck sweep, halfback counter U, tight end lead read option, and inside zone split. So, you might want to put buck read option or just have the regular read option. Play around with it a little bit and then basically go from there. But you're definitely going to want posts or maybe even 4 verticals as your main play. So just going to take a quick second to kind of show you how to run the buck read option, and we'll go from there. By now, everyone should fully understand how to run the read option, but this play is a little bit different. The run play buck sweep is absolutely deadly, and the buck read option can also be extremely deadly if you run it the proper way. Now, the proper way to do this is to sweep it to the outside at full speed. Now, to hand it off to our running back, we need to press the A button or hold the A button, but this can be tricky when you're trying to also hit the speed burst button. So I want to make it clear that once you hand it off to the running back, we need to let go of the A button, because if we don't, then our running back is going to start stiff arming and it's going to slow us down. So hold the A button until we hand it off, then we need to hold speed burst and get to the outside. If you followed me last year for NCAA 13, I'm sure you saw a play that I showed called strong power out of the pistol trips formation. It was actually my favorite run play of the year last year, and the reason I loved it so much is because unlike your typical power O running play, it actually had 2 guards pulling, which made it very, very effective. But really what made it the most effective was the fact that if you've played any EA football over the past 5 years, whether it's Madden or NCAA, I'm sure you know that you see play art for a play. You'll see a fullback pulling on a counter under center, or maybe a fullback that looks like he's going to make a nice block out of a shotgun halfback draw, anything like that, and you run the play only to find out that the fullback completely ignores any linebacker or defensive end that he's supposed to pick up, and then you just get tackled for a loss almost every time. You know, blocking is really the difference when it comes to run plays, and sometimes in these EA football games, blocking is completely broken, they don't do the job that they're supposed to, and we don't get any yards. Now there on a smoke screen you saw I did a spin move. I absolutely love doing that on those plays, whether it's a curl route, whether it's a smoke screen, because I find that jukes and spin moves are extremely effective at getting rid of defenders this year. So you definitely want to take advantage of that in a one-on-one situation. So the reason that I love this play buck sweep so much is really because we're getting that incredible blocking that we got last year out of strong power. And this buck sweep really is 10 times better than what strong power was last year. The blocking is so aggressive. You're going to see runs where we're going downfield, and even as we're continuing to run downfield, I mean, these blockers are relentless. They're always attacking the defender. This is probably the most simplified scheme that I've ever run in my life, and it's just based on the fact that it's effective. You know, there's really not much to it. It's take a look at the defense, and if you see a run to the outside, you know, maybe you just count defenders. You want to count it across. How many linemen? If there's 4 linemen, okay, so that's even on one side. Now count defenders on the left, count defenders on the right. Is there 1 linebacker in the middle? Is there 2 linebackers in the middle? Depending on all this situation, you're going to sit there, you're going to be patient at the line of scrimmage, and you're just going to audible to the correct run play. If you see a user defender on the left side, then the chances are you're probably going to want to make a run to the right side. Or if you're just playing someone, if you don't really trust their user skill, you think maybe they're not the greatest, then heck, you can just run it right at them, and essentially that's like running at 1 less defender. Here I'm playing a very solid player, and he's diving all over the field, just trying to do something to stop that. It was the second game I played in a row against him, and it's amazing what a simple play can do to make a solid player look silly. I noticed that quite a bit as I was running this scheme. And these pass plays are nothing special. I have to be honest with you. Posts and 4 verticals. This 4 verticals isn't really anything that good. It's just the fact that the running plays are so strong that if they have 2 safeties deep, we're going to run the ball on them all day long. If they bring the safeties down and leave one-on-one coverage on the outside, we're going to take advantage of that, especially if it's man coverage, because man coverage is very weak this year, and if it's zone coverage, then we can just go up top with a deep bomb. So it's really all about the run game, and it just allows us to open up the passing. Here it's just a tight end streak, or sorry, a halfback streak out of the backfield. Simple. They're so focused on the run game, because look at this. Look at that aggressive blocking. Even number 70, look at him. He's still attacking defenders. Now when it comes to these other run plays, when it comes to buck sweep, we're going to just want to get to the outside as quick as possible. You hear a lot of people that are run gurus. They say, man, lay off that turbo. And that's true for the most part in a lot of other schemes and run plays. But when it comes to the play buck sweep, we want to hold that turbo the entire way and as quick as possible, get to the outside, and then cut it back upfield to the inside a little bit more if we find that you know, there's defenders taking it to the outside. Now here, as you can see, one-on-one coverage, I break free and pick up huge yards. And just look at these. These guys don't miss blocks. They just don't. And really that's why I decided to run a full scheme around that one play. There's essentially 9 to 12 plays in this scheme. It's really up to you on how many you want to use. I like to have the extra plays just because, you know, I mean, as good as any scheme is, if you run into somebody that's doing a really good job at stopping it, you want to give yourself more options to confuse. I mean, just look at that blocking. I keep talking about it because every time I run this, I get extremely excited. Now here, you're going to see we ran the counter and we run into our guard that's pulling. That is going to happen. You're actually going to notice that you're going to run into your guard. Just stay patient. You're going to know that the yards are going to come. It's one of those things when I was first labbing the counter, I was like, man, I keep running into the guard. But even with that said, and with that being the case, we still pick up our yards. We break tackles. Break tackles are sick in this game. You're going to notice all from this gameplay footage, the amount of break tackles, even when we're running buck sweep. There's going to be times where linebackers attack us, and they do a good job. But the problem is that when we have good running backs from Ole Miss or Oregon or Miami or just good solid running, you know, broken tackles are big. So here, the guy's trying to dive and make plays. A 4th and 5, a lot of the time I was running this ball, we get a nice wide open tight end. And my advice is throw at defenders. You know, don't be afraid to throw it to defenders and cut it back to the inside, as you saw right there. That's big. That is really one of the strong suits to the run game this year, is when you feel like you're about to get tackled, or if they're pursuing really hard to the outside, right here, just boom, cut it right back up, and we're going to fall forward and pick up yards. That's really the secret to the run game. Get as many yards as you can to the outside, and then cut it back to the inside right at that last minute. That is, of course, unless you get it to the outside. There, again, we cut it back to the inside, we pick up another 8 yards. Not sure what else to say about this scheme here, other than the fact that we really just want to follow our blockers on the counter, on the lead. I mean, well, that was really terrible diving. I don't know what he's doing. Again, we're going to do a spin move on those smoke screens, and we're going to pick up yards. Here, we just cut it back to the inside, right when we feel like that defender's getting that edge presence. Spin move, pick up another 3 yards. These jukes and spins are just really, again, here, broken tackle, and we're off to the races. I know it seems silly, but you know what? That's the nature of the game. It really is. I have no problem saying that, yeah, we got tackled in the backfield, but you know what? That's the nature of the game this year, and if we're going to be able to break tackles like that with some of these really good running backs, the running backs are really roided up this year. They're really strong, really fast, you know, and that's what makes this scheme so successful. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I don't really know what else to say. Everything speaks for itself. Not much explaining that I have to do. Just follow your blockers. When you're running the counter, follow the guard, cut it to the inside or the outside. Just read that defender that's got that either edge presence or he's got that inside presence, and just make the right choice. As I mentioned, the passing game out of this formation is nothing spectacular, but I really just wanted to go over what it is that I'm looking at. First, if we face off coverage and we think it's going to be man-to-man defense, we'll just throw a curl on X. If we think it's going to be zone, then we can put him on a smoke screen. When it comes to the wide receiver, if we think it's man-to-man defense, we're going to leave him as is. We're going to let him cut into the inside and then break to the outside. When he breaks to the outside against man-to-man coverage, he's going to get really nice separation, as you saw in the gameplay footage. When he cuts to the inside of its zone and we see that there's a little hole, we can do a nice quick pass when he makes that first cut. The A receiver, the tight end, that's a man beater. Love how that gets separation to the outside. And B in the flat is a really nice just kind of mix in. Now, we could do things like this. There's lots of things. We could put B on a drag just like we did last year. But for the most part, I'm just going to leave him as is. Not really too much that I change on this play, to be honest with you. It's either a curl to X or a smoke screen. Y is either on that route, or we're going to put him on a drag. Or we could put the tight end on a streak. We can block the tight end if they're sending a lot of pressure. We can block and release RB, or we can use the really nice halfback streak out of the backfield. It's like a half wheel, half streak. We can pass lead those to the inside. Nothing groundbreaking here, to be honest with you. One other thing that we can do is I love one-step motioning this slot receiver. Because he plays off the line of scrimmage, that means we can motion snap. So we just go one little step, and if it's man-to-man defense, we're going to get really nice separation. Now, one thing that you want to do though is if you have space when you do that, we're going to want to pass lead. Let's see if we can get some open space, and we see, and we pass lead up. See how that gives us a couple extra yards. So again, nothing too fancy. You know, we can put B on a zig, we can put A on a streak. So that's A is an, you know, streaks by the tight end are really good against zone this year. And then we've got B on the zig route. So we got a zone beater and a man beater right there. We can put X on a curl if we'd like. I mean, really, it doesn't really matter. It's just whatever you think is going to work. The passing play is only here because the running is so effective. We need to make sure that we throw that in now and then. And because they sell out against the run is why we're going to have success in the passing game. Anyways, if you really like the scheme, go ahead, play a couple games with it. you're going to have success. And when you do, I want you to come back to this channel if you haven't already and subscribe, because we're going to have a lot more stuff coming up. Don't forget to make any comments. I'll always love replying to comments. And I'll see you guys next time.